Okay, this is 2024. No conversation goes without talking about layoffs, right? And as
Uh,
engineers, we like to talk about probability and not certainty. So, how do you increase the probability of not getting laid off in recent times?
the way to stay off a layoff list, first understand, yes, some layoffs are done by, say, seniority. And some layoffs are done by a whole team gets cut. But very often they're trimming a part of a team.
Mhm.
And then what happens is, whether they admit it or not, some set of leaders sit in a room and decide who they need to keep and who they can afford not to keep. And so that's about the relationship you have with the leaders and the value you're producing. If you're one of the people who's like quiet quitting and is kind of doing the minimum to keep your salary and having average reviews, it's pretty easy to put you on the we can do better later list, right? We can
Mhm.
do better
Mhm.
than you later. I don't mean to say, people always get mad at me and say, well, you're blaming the people who are laid off. I am not saying that's always true. I am saying it's sometimes true. And,
Mhm.
and I got myself laid off twice in my career and I learned from that, right?
Mhm.
In my case, I was the classic sort of stereotypical difficult to get along with engineer. And I
Mhm.
got myself laid off not because my work wasn't good, but because I hadn't yet focused on social skills. That's what prompted me to do it. I'm like, there's a pattern here, and the pattern is me. So the way you stay off the list, build that relationship with your manager, make sure you're delivering and working well with others, and be a help to your leadership, not a responsibility. Find a way to go help them, ask them what they need. It doesn't mean you have to just work, 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 and burn yourself out.
Mhm.
It's do the right work. It's not who does the most work, because often you're doing all this work that people don't really value. You're off chasing your own. I want to learn this language. I want to polish this architecture to be perfect and to be a monument to my opinion of good code. Well, that
Yeah.
may take you a lot of time and you may be very tired. But if I just wanted it to ship, your monument to great architecture, in your opinion, may not get you anything.
Yeah, 100%. Also, it's very difficult to believe you were hard to get along with. But I will have a
It was a
follow-up
long
question.
time ago.
So one question, Ethan, is a follow-up question. Sometimes, the folks don't have like any choice because if the whole group is not bringing revenue, the whole group is cut, even with the
Yep.
nice list and stuff. Should folks be proactively looking for other groups when the times are tough to a little bit more high earning groups or high revenue groups?
Yeah, I would say you should at least think about that. You should think about, if you're part of a company that's not profitable, or you're part of a division that's got a history of not being profitable. We can see right now in the FANG companies and elsewhere, the knives are out, and you look, they talk about cutting the fat, and you look like fat because your group isn't making money, and money is always the bottom line in corporate America. It's
Yeah.
something of a flaw that that's true. But in good times, there's money sort of sloshing around, and they're like, oh, it's an investment, it's an experiment. In bad times, they're like, yeah, it's a cost. And of course,
Mhm.
it's the same thing at both times, but how it's being viewed. So,
Mhm.
yes, I would say be aware that you can be doing great work and have a great friendship with your manager and be providing a lot of value. But if the product isn't going anywhere or is hemorrhaging money, they're still going to make cuts.
Good tips, Ethan.